In these workshops, UNESCO, Nottingham City Literature and English Pen have brought us all together to be thinking about writing and justice. We've had speakers from English Pen talk about the work they do with writers in dangerous situations, incarcerated writers, and using these stories as a jumping off point, we've sort of been thinking about justice and how to approach notions of justice, injustice, censorship, things like that through our own writing.
So this event is important to me because it's given me an opportunity to talk about the work that I do and to talk about it within a Nottingham context, because often black activism is seen as something that happens in other places. It happens in London, it happens in Birmingham, it happens in Bristol. And the history of black activism here in Nottingham often goes untold. And there's a rich history dating back to, the late 1940s when the first group of ex-servicemen had demobilised to Nottingham after World War II.
Listening to people talk about these issues, it's definitely taught me a lot more of what's out there that I didn't realise. So Panya spoke today about the racism that her granddaughters faced, and they're very little, and I think it shocked me that such harsh experiences could be had for such young people. You kind of think as children as being out of this area of prejudice, and they're not, and I think that's something that needs to be looked at and fixed in society.
It brings to the fore that systemic and endemic racism exists. It's real and it's live.
I think it's very interesting because when to begin with, I thought this is an interesting age range to have people brought together from the age of 14 to 25. There are significantly different life experiences within that array of ages. But watching them work together, I think, was incredibly important. And I thought that they were equally supportive and thoughtful and perceptive.
Like I said before, I've sort of valued the opportunities to be kind of made uncomfortable. I do feel my, political awareness has been sort of expanded a bit about like how writing can be put into political contexts. So just all the different speakers have made me think about issues that I haven't really thought about before, which I think was a really pretty cool thing to happen.
I think it's important for them to think about language and how powerful language is. That means how they use it, how language can be violent and hurtful, racist and obscene, and how language can be used for forces of good, and how young people can think about literature and history, and particularly of how we write and why we write, together to think about how activists, for example, write things that are considered dangerous, that aren't always recognised in the moment of their writing.
It's really important for young people to come to events like this and to have a voice, because, I don't want to put more burdens on the shoulder of young people, because I do feel that there is a lot of burden on their shoulders already. I think that they've inherited a world that isn't great, and that we, as the older generation, have done them a disservice. Having said that, it's important because they are the future, and they are the ones that can potentially make changes if they want to, or if they choose to. So I think it's important for them to be able to listen to people like me talking firsthand about my experiences, so that hopefully it not only informs them, but it inspires them to do good and to want to do good.
I think there's a lot of pressure on young people to be the future, but a lot of the time when we do speak out as young people, we're sort of put to the side as being immature or not wise enough because we don't have the years that other people do. And I think that in itself is a bit hypocritical. If you want to dedicate the future to the changing of young people, you need to listen to them while they're young.